Good afternoon, everybody. So, don't mind my hair, it's all crazy today. I just wanted to pop on and kind of go over some extensions, different types of extensions. I have a few different pieces here. This is a machine weft. This is a newer version from Babe. So this is a little bulkier, more density. This is put in by placing beads around the head and then sewing them around in sections. So typically, most people that I have seen just need one package of those guys. Very rarely would you need two packages of those. You would have to have like the most massive hair ever to need two packages. 18-inch of those is, I believe, $400. 22-inch of those is $505. And we can customize color them, everything like that. They're very flexible. They're just a little bulkier of a hair. So people with finer hair, not really good option for them. But a good chunk of people can wear those guys. Yeah, here's another one of those. The wefts are real thick, real full. So there's that. Now, let's talk about a hand-tied weft. So this is a weft, just like those. You can see they're a lot thinner, a lot lighter, a little more flexible. So this is like a braid up here. So if this gets cut or torn, or if it's brushed too hard, this can rip. And then the hair starts coming off of it. So that's kind of the biggest difference between the machine and the hand-tied. These are a little bit more durable. So for people that are not used to extensions or have issues and stuff like that, the machine weft is going to be a little bit easier to take care of. The hand-tied weft, you're going to need, very few people can use one pack of these. Some people most people can get away with 2 packs. 3 packs is like the max you would do. The 18-inch of these guys, I believe, is $300, and the 22-inch is $375. Like I said, 2 packs is kind of that sweet spot on the hand-tied wefts. But those are going to be the most flexible in the weft category. You don't have any kind of adhesive or anything like that, and the beads lay nice and flat to the head. Then we have tape-ins, which I don't think I have any of those. They're about 1.5 inches strip of hair that's on like a polyurethane attachment that has a medical grade adhesive tapes. They're little tapes that stick on there, and you kind of create a sandwich. So you have one piece here, one piece here, and you put natural hair in between, put them together, and it seals. So those are tape-ins. Tape-ins come in a variety of different lengths. They come in 14, 18, 22, and in some colors they come in 24. And those kind of vary in price. Don't quote me on it. I want to say that they go anywhere from like $75 up to like $135. The shorter your hair is and the length that you want, you usually have to use more packs. Most people, the kind of sweet spot for me that I have found is a 5 packs of those all the way up to 7 packs. So Nettie does use tape-ins a lot, and hers is a ridiculous amount because she has a lot of fine hair, but she has a ton of it. So she uses more. I don't even remember last time, 7 or 8 packs. Crazy amount. But tape-ins are kind of what I used to start everybody on because they're fairly easy to maintain at home with the brushing and stuff like that. Not as delicate as kind of a hand-tied weft, but it does have an adhesive aspect to it. So if you're not blow drying properly, if you're a very active person that sweats a lot and goes to the gym or anything like that, if you're pretty avid swimmer, I usually don't really recommend the tape-ins just because you do get a lot of that tacky residue that kind of comes out of the tape-in. And then also for grow outs, of shorter styles. Tape-ins are usually what I recommend to start with, just because they knock out a lot of bulk and a lot of length in a short amount of time while still blending, because you can kind of strategically place them. Whereas a weft, it's a longer strip of hair, so it's kind of obvious if you have like short hair to here and then you have a weft to here. But with a tape-in, I can kind of put them in a little bit lower and it kind of blends it out. So next, eye tips. So it's a single strand. These get put in with a little bead, individual strands. So you have individual strands all over your head. There's this method, and then there's also a flat tip method, which I don't think I have a flat tip, but a flat tip is very similar, except for this is like a circular little cylinder here. A flat tip is just a flat, almost rectangular shape, and it has a little tiny stem on it, but it lays really nice and flat to the head, whereas this is a little bit like kind of its own thing because it has the cylinder. So these are great. I like the eye tips specifically to do, and you can use a full head of these. I just kind of have my own preferences. So if I have somebody that's wanting to do like a fun fashion color, you know, and they don't want to commit to like bleaching their hair out and then maintaining this color, these little eye tips are something that I can just put all around the head, different colors if you wanted to. I can also custom color them, or I can purchase them in the vivid colors, you know, purples, pinks, teals, blues, all of that. So these I kind of like more for just doing highlighting or some accent colors. The flat tips, that's my ones that I prefer on myself personally. They lay nice and flat to the head. They color really well, especially with the vivid colors. I've tried the wefts on myself, and doing the vivid colors, because I don't just do one color, I don't feel like the wefts blend as well as the flat tips do on me. Just because they're single strands with the flat tips, but they lay nice and flat, like almost like a tape-in or even like a weft does, except for they're single strands. So I can kind of have multiple colors going on, and it blends into my natural hair really easily. Just kind of my preference. Those do, eye tips. They come in 18s and 22s, I believe. And those are, like I said, don't quote me on this one. I believe they're $65 per pack for these 18s. The flat tips only come in 22s, but of course we can customize your length by cutting and stuff like that. I prefer them too because they're longer and they're a little bit less expensive. And I believe those are $80 a pack for the flat tips. So there's those. And last but not least, I got some fusions. So fusions, people either love or hate fusions. I'm kind of indifferent. So this is a full bond fusion. This is unaltered, uncut. This is keratin glue at the tip here. With the brand we use, Babe, this is called VersaTip. So I find that a full bond is way too much adhesive to put on somebody, so I generally will cut that in half into a half bond. And then I don't do a ton of full head applications of these. They kind of go in, and these have the least like in between maintenance. You can rebond them. However, I am going to be totally honest, I have not found my groove with rebonding. So I kind of refer to these as like one-time use hair, except for you'll be able to wear them longer than any other method without maintenance. And then I do a lot of micro bonds, so which is one of these guys cut down into thirds, fourths, or fifths. So then you get a tiny little piece here. So micro bonds are really good for my people that are thinner, people that need a little more fullness up top. You can put one of these in the top and it's almost invisible. Obviously the client themselves can see it because they know they have it in there, but the difference with it is amazing. It really fills it in really well up top and doesn't show. I do a ton of those. I always explain those to people as they're kind of like a lash extension or natural eyelashes where they just kind of fall out here and there on their own. With these having such little glue, they're attached and then they just kind of wear. They wear, and some of them will come loose and come out. Some of them will hold on for dear life and be there forever, and they'll have to get taken out at some point in time. But these are amazing for people that have thinning hair. You can add a little bit of length with these with thinning hair if you wanted to, but most of my people that I do the micro bonds on, we're really just cutting it to their length just to give them volume and thickness and kind of fill in any spots that they're feeling are a little bit thinner. Yeah, so those are all the types of extensions that I do. Each method kind of has its rhyme or reason to who it's good for. I am doing a lot more hand-tied wefts these days just because it's kind of a hot topic. It doesn't have the adhesive like the tapes do, and you know, it's just more flexible and looks pretty natural on most other people. Machine wefts, I'm doing quite a bit of them. I just don't think that I've had them take off yet because I think people are a little bit intimidated by the thickness of it. What's really cool though is where I might have to have a small row of hand-tied wefts, small row, large row, sometimes a second large row, and then a half and a half, maybe a small row, a large row, and then a half and a half with the hand-tied wefts. With the machine wefts, it's literally 2 large rows, and that's it. So you have a lot less attachment points, so that thickness that people are scared of, like, oh, it's going to be too bulky. Not really, because you just have 2 rows instead of having 5 rows, let's say. And then with the beaded kind, the flat tips or eye tips, with those, depending on how thick your hair is, depending on how long your hair is and what your end goal is, those you could have, I think myself, because you guys know my hair is probably right around here, you know, and I bleach it and color it obviously, so it's not super duper thick, and I can usually get away with about 6 to 7 packs of those. Some people 4 packs is great, some people 6 packs is great, just really depends. But you have a lot of little attachments on your head when you're using a beaded method. And then with the tape ends, like I said, you know, they're 1.5-inch little strips there, and so you have a lot more attachment points, and then you also have the adhesive. And then with the fusions, you know, you got little attachments kind of wherever you're needing them or for length or whatever. So the wefts are definitely something that I do a lot more of these days, but I love doing all extensions. So yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know, kind of break it down a little bit. Installation for extensions, we do charge $100 an hour for the installation. So that can kind of vary depending on the method. Most of the sew-ins, the wefted hair, those are going to be about 1.5 hours to 2 hours, depending on, you know, how much hair you're putting in. So, you know, break it down like that. Tape-ins are about 1 hour, give or take. Sometimes it's less, just really depends on the amount of blending and everything that needs to be done with the hair. Eye tips or flat tips, those are going to take me 2 to 3 hours, give or take. Fusions are going to take me, like full fusions are going to take me 3 to 4 hours because I don't do a ton of them. And then the microfusions, we do a little bit of a different pricing for those. So the microfusions are going to be $65 per pack. And then each time we're doing installation, it's going to be $25. Most microfusions, unless you're doing like a partial head or a full head, most people start off with about a half a pack of hair, let's say, and we break them down into little micro bonds, and then we install them, and then you still have hair for your next installation if you wanted to do that. So most people get 2 installations out of 1 package of hair with the micros, you know, and then I do have most of my micro people coming in at a 4 to 6 week schedule, just because they do tend to fall out and lose them. So yeah, I hope that helps everybody, and that's kind of the whole pricing. With all of our new installations, any hair that's like freshly applied and you haven't had extensions before, we always like to send you home with a brush, so that we can make sure that you have the right tools and equipment when you're going home. We do recommend that you use a sulfate-free shampoo and conditioner. We do use Milkshake here. You guys know that. We recommend using Milkshake. I do have like Brazilian Bond Builder. They have an extension shampoo and conditioner for at-home use. I personally use that one when I have my extensions in, just because I feel like it keeps them nice and fresh and it helps my color from fading. Yeah, pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to send a message, comment, whatever. We would love to see you in and get you some extensions, and so that you can see what it's like. Awesome. Also, a new thing that I kind of wanted to roll out. I'm probably going to get more active with it. We actually applied with PayPal credit for extension hair. So what that means is we have a program with PayPal now where you can apply for like credit with PayPal, and you have 6 months to pay off whatever amount it is. So we can now accept that for the purchase of extension hair. So you can go on to PayPal credit, you can select us as a vendor, and then we would have to invoice you for the hair that you're wanting or whatever. So let's say you wanted 2 packs of 22-inch hand-tied weft hair at $3.75 a piece. We would send you an invoice for $7.50 through PayPal. You would apply for the PayPal credit, and then you have 6 months, same as cash, to pay it off to PayPal. So that's something that's kind of exciting. So if you've ever thought about extensions or wanted to do extensions but just really can't do the cost up front, you could that's always an option now. So I was excited to kind of get that, and I almost forgot to tell you guys. So I'm really excited about it. I'm hoping that it'll let some people get their dream hair, and we can get it installed, and everything will be all good. So, all right, guys. Yeah, like I said, if you have any questions, message us, give us a call, comment, and we'll get back to you. Have a great day.